Hello everyone, Tutu Mora here with the Y, bringing you tools to feel well in your body, mind, and spirit. So today we're going to be talking about sciatica, which it just sucks. I spent a whole year and a half of my life with 3 herniated discs, terrible sciatic pain and numbness, making it difficult to walk, difficult to move around and engage in the activities that make life fun. So if you're experiencing sciatica right now, I feel you. So sciatica is a spectrum of experience, right? It can vary from, just some low back pain, perhaps a little shooting pain, to some really excruciating pain where it's uncomfortable even to find a position to be without pain. Numbness, difficulty walking, all of that. So I want to just acknowledge that there is this spectrum of experience, and the general stretches and information we're going to talk about here today, please approach this as an invitation. So I want you to be able to listen to your own body first, and if something doesn't feel quite right or you're really not sure, I encourage you to do what feels right for you. So maybe you feel the need to run this by your doctor first and see if these stretches are okay with you. That's absolutely fine. Maybe you feel like just 1 or 2 of these stretches is going to be supportive for you and the other one feels a little bit like, I don't know if that's going to be right. Listen to that. All of these are just tools that you can use if they feel right. So another thing about sciatica, before we get started moving around, is that, it often pops up in life and then pops up again later down the road, maybe a couple years later. It's an experience that we often repeat throughout our lives, right? And unfortunately, and especially in times of stress and chaos, perhaps like the year we're having right now, stress can create tension in our bodies, right? Our muscles tense, we're bracing against the unknown, and that tension can create compression in the discs against that sciatic nerve. All of those things that contribute to the sciatic pain we then experience as a symptom of that compression, wherever the discs are, usually in your lower lumbar spine. But so I want you to notice when that sciatica reoccurs, and if it's reoccurring right now for you, perhaps you have more tools to work with this time around than you did before. I always find that when an experience continues to pop up now and again in life, usually I have more tools each time to pull from, to move myself and hold myself through that experience. So consider this just some more tools to add to your toolkit in dealing with sciatica. Okay, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna come onto all fours here, onto the mat. I'll turn around. Okay, so into a tabletop here, hands spread wide, right beneath your shoulders, knees hip distance apart, right beneath your hip bones. And so what we're going to do here is just a gentle cat-cow. But what I want you to think about is moving from your pelvis first. So we're going to start by taking a little curl of the pelvis, a curl of that tailbone, and allowing that to lead you nice and slow into your cat pose. Now we're taking all of this slow so you can feel into where might be your range and what feels good for you today. So just as we started with the pelvis, we're going to start with that pelvis again, gently extending that tailbone and allowing that to take you into your cow pose. And again, starting with the pelvis, gentle curl here, taking you into that cat pose. And then a gentle extension to take you into your cow pose. Let's do that one more time. Little curl of the pelvis, taking you into your cat pose. And then gentle extension, taking you into your cow pose. So we're just starting to create some movement and space between those vertebrae. So let's come back to a tabletop here. Find your posture, nice deep breath. And then we're gonna take that little tilt of the pelvis and we're gonna let that tilt lead you back into a child's pose as you're able, but keep that little curl of the pelvis as if you're lengthening that lower lumbar spine. Reaching your arms forward into your child's pose, taking it to the degree that feels good for you, but continuing to feel that sensation of curling your pelvis. Almost so this space here in your low back feels like it's being lengthened, more space creating in between those vertebra. And then we'll come back to a tabletop and we'll take that one more time. So little tilt of that pelvis leading you back into your child's pose. Almost the sensation like your tailbone was gonna curl between your legs. Breathing into that. And then coming all the way back up, we're gonna do a couple stretches now lying on your back. So go ahead, get comfortable on your mat. Knees are gonna be bent. And now, as long as this is comfortable, the first thing that we're gonna do here is create a little space in the pelvis, create a little space in that lower lumbar spine. So we're gonna do that with our breath. Now our first breath, we're gonna send all the way down the length of our body as if that breath is gonna come out the sit bones. So inhaling as if that breath could come out the sit bones, inhaling, widening the sit bones, exhaling as if those sit bones could just come back together. So playing around with that breath, let's take that a few times. Inhaling, feeling that width through the sit bones. Exhaling as those sit bones come back together. Inhale, widening that space. Exhaling. Almost like your sit bones were widening away from your tailbone in either direction. And now let's put your hands on your hip bones here. We're going to take that breath to the hip bones. Again, feeling as though that inhale is widening through the hip bones. Exhaling as those hip bones come back to the starting point. And again, inhaling. We're going to do this a couple more times. I want you to also feel as though that inhale could fill the back of your body. So as if you were going to puff out your lower back into the mat. One more. Now you're going to bring your hands to either side of your rib cage here. You're going to breathe into the bottom of the rib cage, so feeling your hands expand laterally. With your inhale, come back together with your exhale. Again, feeling as though your breath could fill the back of your rib cage too. And now we're going to put all three of those together. So breathing into the sit bones, the hip bones, and the bottom of the rib cage. Breathing into the back of the body. So almost like we're inflating this whole pelvic floor space like a balloon with your inhale. And with your exhale, feeling all those points, just come back to the starting point. Inhaling, feeling that whole lower lumbar area of the spine puff out against the mat. Widening through those sit bones, hip bones, bottom of the rib cage, and exhaling. One more time. And so our next stretch, it's going to be a gentle figure 4 stretch. So keeping your spine nice and supported, posture straight and aligned on the mat, you're going to place one leg, ankle over the opposite knee. And as long as it feels okay for your back, you're just going to bring your legs in towards your body. Gently stretching out the glutes, stretching out that lower lumbar spine here. And it feels good just to gently rock that back and forth. Flexing that foot that is supported by your knee, as if you could just reach gently through the heel. And then as you're able, switching sides. Flexing that foot. Continuing that breath as if the breath, we're going to help you create space in your pelvis and hips to accommodate this movement. Breathing into the back of your body. And then we're going to bring those feet back to the mat here. We're going to bring one leg in towards our body, reaching for that opposite shoulder. Gentle stretch, only taking this as far as feels good for you. Breathing here. And then placing that leg back down on the mat, and we'll take that to the other side. Knee in towards your body, aiming for the opposite shoulder. And you can rest that foot back down. Now, sometimes opening up the upper body, usually always, opening up the upper body has a positive effect on the lower body as well. So we're just going to do a couple things to open up that upper body to facilitate movement in the lower body. We're going to bring both arms up straight, fingertips towards the ceiling, bending at the elbows here, like I Dream of Jeannie arms. And we're going to take an alternating puppet arm, so scooping one shoulder blade out and up so that elbow tip comes up towards the ceiling, allowing your sternum to sink towards the mat. And then placing that back down, we'll take that to the other side. Nice and gentle, just opening, creating a little movement. Couple more sets. One more set, one more time to each side. Sternum sinking for the mat behind you. And then bringing yourself back to center, the last thing we'll do is bringing those arms straight back up, fingertips towards the ceiling, plugging your arms into the shoulder sockets. We're just going to float those arms overhead. Gentle reach away through the back of the armpit here, lengthening the spine, and then plugging them back in, bringing those fingertips all the way back up. And we'll do that one more time. And then you can rest those arms at your sides. If it feels good, you can take a little pelvic curl here. And then those are some helpful stretches that I hope you can find supportive. And I also want to just bring forward that walking around, even if it feels difficult at first, can be super, super helpful in just getting things moving, feeling a little bit more lubricated from the inside. So I would encourage you to walk around as much as you're able. Maybe also bringing your hands to your lower lumbar spine and just giving yourself a little massage here as well. It can also be helpful to take an Epsom salt bath, a couple cups of Epsom salt in warm water, maybe adding in a couple drops of your favorite essential oil. That Epsom salt bath can really help to draw out some of the tension and stress in your muscles and create a little bit more space, because ultimately space is what we're looking for in the spine, between the vertebrae, because compression is what brings on that symptom of sciatic nerve pain. So I hope you find this helpful. I hope if you are experiencing sciatica that it passes quickly, and I wish you all the best. I'll see you back here next time on the Wise YouTube channel. Take care.